All right, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session on application success from start to submit. We know many of you are either through the process and about to hit submit, or some are actually just beginning the process and may have some questions. And so we're always excited to support prospective students wherever they are, and this virtual platform gives us that opportunity to do so. So, welcome to our application success night from start to submit. So, just want to briefly go over our team. Um, at this time, we have a new member and he will introduce himself. But if you have been in contact with us, you may have emailed, called, spoke with, or even Zoomed with one of the four that are on this screen. My name is Layara Powell, and I serve as the Associate Director of Recruitment. So preparing students for the actual application process, different events, as well as overseeing our student ambassador program. I will turn it over to Joan Hankins, our Director of Admissions.
I think she was trying to connect her phone, so I can
Okay,
introduce myself first
please.
while she's
Thank
doing
you.
that. Okay. Well, welcome. My name is Christina Rose. I serve as the Assistant Dean of Admissions for the pharmacy school, and I oversee our undergraduate pharmacy student program as well as our PharmD admissions. I am also a practicing pharmacist, and I am a professor, so I teach in the Doctor of Pharmacy curriculum as well. So I am glad to see everyone here, and hopefully we can answer any of your questions as you're preparing for your application for the program.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. And I see Adrienne Henry is on, so if she can go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm having some
Sure
phone.
can.
Okay. Hi, my name is Adrienne Henry. I serve as the administrative specialist in the Office of Admissions.
Thank you, Adrienne. So happy to have you on with us. And
Mhm.
you all probably have had an opportunity to speak with Joan, emailed with her. Um, so she'll have an opportunity to speak with you all and officially introduce herself to anyone that is not familiar. But Joan Hankins, longtime director of admissions here for the Doctor of Pharmacy program, Temple Made, Temple Proud, and she's a wealth of knowledge and always available to support students. Without further ado, we would like to introduce our newest team member, Mr. Thomas Valera Jr.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. As it was mentioned, my name is Thomas Varela. I serve as the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Students in the Pharmacy program. So I work with the students that are in the Bachelor's of Science in Pharmaceutical Studies. And so if you are one of those students, at some point you'll be interacting with me to make sure that you are achieving your goals. And for some of you, your goals are to go to pharmacy school. So after your sophomore year or after your junior year, you will be heading over to the pharmacy school to complete your PharmD degree. But for some of you, you might decide to have a change of heart, consider a career in another avenue of pharmaceutical studies. And so my job will be to support you in graduating from Temple with a bachelor's in science and pharmaceutical studies, and then helping you decide what will be the next step, whether it's going into one of our master's degree programs or going into industry or another space within within the broader pharmaceutical industry. So I look forward to working with you. If you are in the Bachelor's of Science and Pharmaceutical Studies, and once again, supporting your goals to go to pharmacy school or to go into industry. And also, I am Temple Made and Temple Proud, so look forward to celebrating that with you as well.
Thank you so very much, Thomas, and so happy to have you officially a part of our team. He comes with a wealth of knowledge. So those that are coming from main campus, specifically our Bachelor's of Science in Pharmaceutical Science, please use your resources. We are here to support you, but you have a direct resource in Thomas, Mr. Valera Jr. Thank you so very much, Thomas. All right, so this evening, we really just want to ensure that you're leaving here with more knowledge than what you came. We want to provide clarity, just make sure that we're all clear of the requirements. Everyone is coming in at different points in the pathway to matriculate into our program. So we want to make sure that we're supporting you where you are and moving everyone to the finish line, which is submitting an application and hopefully being granted to our institution. So as you continue to think about why Temple or confirm your why, we always just like to point out our rich history. And as Thomas shared, we are celebrating 125 years of pharmacy education excellence. And we're super excited to welcome new students with this new excitement and also with the just rich history of the School of Pharmacy up on the Health Science Center campus. And as you can see, our clinical as well as experiential learning, I think really sets us apart from other schools because from the start to your finish, you are going to be immersed in the didactic aspect of our program, so in the classroom, but then you're going to be applying that to the real world in your introductory as well as your advanced pharmacy practice experiences throughout your time as a student. And so that really helps our students, one, to be prepared for what the real world is going to look like because they're able to have that access to diverse patient population, specifically in the city, a large city that you're going to work in and maybe even service long term. But if while you're a student here, you're able to not only serve at our Temple University Hospital, but also participate in our broad network in other hospitals that will allow you to get that hands-on experience and working in various capacities. We're super excited that research is available for students, and we have amazing faculty within our Research One institution that allows students to participate and sometimes become co-publishers before they even graduate, which are great opportunities for you to expand your experiences as a student. And we love to hear that our students that have graduated are not only feeling ready, but are prepared. And so we hope that as you continue to move through this application process, you'll also continue to use your resources when you become a student here at the School of Pharmacy. So now I just want to take some time to kind of break down some of the application components that you'll essentially complete. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to complete it all. So I do want to go ahead and pull up a poll just to kind of see where some of our students are coming from. And kind of make sure that we're speaking to what you all need. So we'll start there. As current student statuses, we have some that are completing their prerequisites only. We have some that are working on a degree and then graduating. And then we have some that have finished all of their prerequisites. So we have about 6 out of 18 participants. I know 4 of us will not be answering. Well, technically 5, so we'll be good to go from there.
Maybe I want to go back to pharmacy school in the future.
I mean, I thought about it. I have a health science degree. I was just like, I completed a lot of these courses, but unfortunately, the 10-year threshold has surpassed. All right, so I think every one of our student attendees have answered. So we're about split when it comes to those that are completing their prerequisites only and those that have completed their prerequisites. Congratulations to you. And we have three students that are about to graduate with their degree, so congratulations to you. I'm super excited for you all. I hope you're excited for yourselves, but that also helps us to know. And I also say that, we have different students coming from different pathways. And so, with that being, stated, we have students that are coming with a degree as well as without a degree. And so, if you completed the prerequisites or in the process of, you still have an opportunity to matriculate into our program come fall of 2026. And I will do one more poll. Actually, will wait for that one. Yep, I will wait for that one. So those that are still in the process of completing their application, the FarmCast application is very similar to Common App if you have not started your application. And so that is you'll pop in, you'll pop out, you'll update your different sections of your application. So you'll see your personal information and demographics, your academic history, course prerequisites, volunteer experiences, personal statement, your letters of recommendation, official transcript, and the supplemental requirements. And so for those that have completed and submitted their application, a part of that supplemental requirement would be the interview process. And so we offer interviews both in-house at the School of Pharmacy on the Health Science campus, but then we also have opportunities for students to complete their interviews virtually. And so you will communicate directly with Miss Adrienne Henry and Miss Joan Hankins regarding the scheduling of your interview. So the application, we will drop the link for that into the chat so you can have that to refer back to as you continue to move through submitting your application. But all of our applicants will be processed through FarmCast. And so again, we'll go ahead and put that link in the chat so you can have it if you have not started or familiarized yourself with the application portal as of yet. So in terms of our prerequisites, since we do have some that are in the process of completing their prerequisites, I do just want to provide clarity. And also, if we do have any questions regarding those prerequisites, you can ask those questions at any point in time of this presentation. And so with our prerequisites, we have our Bio 1 and 2, Chemistry 1 and 2, Anatomy 1 and 2. The lab is optional. So for students that are taking courses where the institution may not have the lab attached, making it a 3-credit course, that is okay. If you have questions about if the university is accredited, any of those things, or if it's the right level of course, you can ask that question tonight. You can put it in the chat and we'll have our Director of Admissions respond either immediately or follow up with you once this session has concluded. In terms of organic chemistry 1 and 2, the lab is required, and then you have physics and lab. In terms of math, it is going to be calculus. English 1 is the requirement. If you've taken English 2 as well as English 1, English 2 will be counted as one of your 18 elective credit hours. So when it comes to electives, they fall mainly under 2 buckets, which are your social sciences and your humanities umbrella. And so as you can see, the breakdown, if you have taken psychology courses, sociology, anthropology, geography, all of the geographies we will do our best to give you credit for those courses. We just want to ensure that you're taking at least two courses from each umbrella, essentially, which equates to 6 credit hours. So if you take a criminal justice and a history course, as well as a fine arts and a communications course, the remaining courses, if you want to overload because you love political science and you have more coming from there, that's fine. But minimum 6 and 6, and then the remainder will be from whatever category you choose to. And I feel like we're pretty flexible. If we have a question about, colleges and universities are hmm, very unique in naming of their courses. So they'll have an elaborate name for a simple literature course or for a simple psychology course. But if it has a creative name and we need to get a syllabus or just a description of the course to make sure, we will do that. We have no problem supporting you with that. And then statistics is optional. So whatever statistics course you take, that will be counted as an elective. It is recommended, although it is not required any longer. Any questions before I move on? All right, so we do have one question. I have Physiology 1 and 2 weighted 4 credit course, cell name, Physiology and Human Physiology. Did that cover my A&P course? Um, we, so Dr. Rose, you and Joan want to field the courses or the questions in the chat?
Yep, that's what I'm trying to do.
All
So
right.
usually we require an anatomy and physiology course, and the other, or if you take anatomy and physiology, it'd be anatomy and physiology 1 and anatomy and physiology 2. So it seems like the individual in the question said that they took physiology 1 and 2. So usually we would say we need an anatomy course in addition, but if you believe anatomy was covered sufficiently in those courses, if you want to send us the syllabus, we could always take a look at that and on like a case by case basis, decide if you need that additional anatomy course, or not.
Thank you.
So that was not a super straightforward one.
All right. So, in terms of personal statement, this is about you. Don't tell us that you're not good in math. We can read that on your transcript. This is just telling us about your why. What about the field of pharmacy is exciting to you? What do you want to do with the degree? How do you want to utilize it? In what capacity? Or what excites you if you don't know what area of pharmacy you want to work in? Since pharmacy is so diverse when it comes to the career pathways. But really just want to describe maybe there's something that happened that brought you to this point where you are excited about pharmaceutical science, or you want to work you started off as a pharmacy technician and someone maybe mentored you and you heard, all of the various opportunities within the field. So this is really your chance to tell us about you, and what excites you, what motivates you, essentially, because we want to know what we can't read from your letter of recommendations, what we can't read from your transcript. And so that will help us to learn more about you, even from the non-academic side that you may want to share. I know when 2020, COVID first happened, everyone had something about COVID in their personal statement. So don't be cliche. Think about a unique story that you can share, your why pharmacy. So if anyone has questions about that, also utilizing your writing centers will be very helpful. If you want to, some fresh eyes and objective eye, your writing centers will definitely be helpful in that regard to give you an overview, or a trusted professor or a trusted friend or mentor. Really utilize your resources when it comes to can I get a second look in regards to that. Any questions about personal statement? Okay. Letters of recommendation. I will say, just because the person is maybe of some type of prestige, you always want to make sure that they know you and can speak about you. And do you have a pretty close relationship and rapport with each other, maybe to speak of your growth academically, someone that can speak on your maturity throughout their class or throughout your time in undergraduate. So just really be careful with who you're asking. Of course, because this is a science heavy degree, maybe connecting with one of your science professors, so anatomy, organic chemistry, biochemistry, any of those I think would definitely speak to your skill set and also your foundational skill sets, because you'll be building on that as you continue as a Doctor of Pharmacy student. I do want to give an opportunity if my colleagues want to share anything in additional to that, please feel free to do so.
I can chime in from my previous
Please.
role. One of the things you want your letters of recommendation, your recommendations a lot of times reinforce the story that you're saying. So if there's a lived experience that you are talking about in your personal statement, your letter of recommendation can sometimes enhance that story because it offers some credibility, because you may be telling us about this great pharmacy tech experience. And then if you get a farm tech, your supervisor in that experience to write a letter of recommendation, it helps to validate a lot of what you're saying. And then also, too, circling back to your personal statement, one of the things you do want to think about with your personal statement, it is a time for you to demonstrate your individuality. And what do I mean by that? All of you all are going to get good grades. So to a certain extent, you guys are all smart. But how do you distinguish yourself as individuals? And your personal statement is the opportunity for you to tell your individual story. And so while we are all committed to pharmacy school and there's a natural inclination to love science and to love love the field of pharmacy, you're really trying to show who you are as an individual. And that's part of how you leverage your letters of recommendation and your personal statement. It's an opportunity to show your individualism and who you are as a person to the admissions committee.
Thank you so very much, Thomas. In terms of official transcripts, some students, as shared already, have completed their prerequisites. So all final transcripts should be attached to your application. Any event that you are completing or finishing your courses in the fall and you didn't get those grades yet, you want to request your official transcript. Those that are completing their prerequisite courses in the spring, obviously you won't have your transcript until May. And so it is important that you stay on top of when I finish these courses, because some students may take their courses online. And so those courses may end at a non-traditional time of the end of a spring or fall semester. So any event that you have completed courses, you need to stay on top of, hey, let me request my official transcript to be attached to my application in PharmCast. Any event that you have submitted your application, but you still have courses and we were able to provide you with a conditional acceptance, meaning upon successful completion, we'll be able to enroll you officially into our first year class, but you still had classes that you were completing, we will still need that finalized transcript. Does that make sense, everyone? I just want to make sure that we're clear in terms of how important, and we'll remind you, but we also want to make sure that you're fully aware that we still need those final transcripts, even if you have already been admitted. If colleagues want to chime in, Dr. Rose or Joan.
Yeah, that also goes for your summer coursework as well. So you can get a conditional acceptance, but we will need the final transcript for the summer. And believe me, if anyone is completing summer one, summer two, or summer three, we will be hounding you. So we know that summer two, that semester doesn't end until the end of August. We request that you have your professor forward a letter on school stationery, which indicates your final grade, and that will hold until we get the transcript.
Thank you, Joan.
You're
And so to that point, some students are utilizing, and you can utilize. So there was a question in the chat about and think it's correct in terms of the transcript, can this be after the application deadline? Yes. So currently the application deadline is March 2nd. You've submitted all other required documents. Everything else is good to go, but you still have that transcript that you need to submit. If you are taking classes during spring, your transcript will be available after that March 2nd deadline. That is the same for if you are taking courses during summer session one or summer session two. That will be after the March deadline. However, you still will need to submit that transcript. So yes, we will accept that official transcript after the deadline. You just need to make sure that it is official, and the best way to do it is to request it electronically because it will be faster in terms of that turnaround time. And also, in terms of the our scholarships, that is determined during the time that you are being reviewed by our director of admissions. So once we have everything, you've hit submit, we have the most up-to-date grades. Based off of that, you're considered for a merit-based scholarship. And so you will be notified once you are admitted. And you've also completed the interview that we spoke about previously. Once you are admitted, you will be notified, yay, congratulations, but then also if you are eligible and what type of merit-based scholarship that you'll receive. Currently, our scholarships are renewable for all 4 years. When and if that changes, we will notify you. Anything else, team, before we move on? All right. So, interview preparation. I'll take a break here because I'm super excited that we do have one of our incoming students, Het Patel, and he will introduce himself. But I think it's best to hear from a student in terms of how to prepare, because when I say we, faculty and staff, we're supporting you all. We're doing conducting the interview. Whereas from a student's perspective, how did he prepare? How was he, supported leading up to said interview time and now admitted and officially deciding to come to Temple? Het, the ball is in your court.
Hello, hello. So first of all, I'm Het. I'm in a 2+4 program, and I'm going to be attending pharmacy school in this fall. And so this interview process, it wasn't too much to think of. I was in the pre-pharmacy school at Temple, so I know from other colleagues that it's very relaxed. You don't have to be stressed. There's no reason to be stressed. They're all here for you. And so the interview process, the only thing you should try to get down is maybe like what your goals are, what your current goals and long-term goals are, and then how pharmacy is your interest, how you came about that. Because I do want to know who you are and your story behind pharmacy. It's safe to like not repeat what you said in your personal statement because they do know what you wrote and written. So maybe keep that separate and then yeah, it's just relaxing. It's just professors interviewing you. And yeah.
And I will just ask to share, did you complete your interview in person or virtually? And why did you choose that? And do you feel like there was one thing over another that made you choose either in person or virtual?
Yeah, so I went in person for my interview. The main reason was because I was speaking to professors or administrators that I was going to be speaking to in the next 4 years. So might as well go in person, talk to them, make them remember your face, get those connections already started right before you even enter. Yeah, so that was my main deciding factor. Online, me personally, I don't like talking like screens. Yeah, that was.
We do
Thank
have
you
a
for
good
sharing that.
I say we do have a good amount of students that apply from out of state, significant distances, and we know a lot of student applicants also have courses. They're in their undergraduate program or finishing that up, and so we offer the virtual option for people that maybe can't can't make the distance, don't have, the finances to travel, and then also are doing the interview in between some of the courses that they're taking. So we kind of offer that additional option for those candidates.
All right. And so we'll take a brief pause and answer another poll question, which is what is your current application status? So you can either select my application has been submitted, my application has not been started, my application has been started but not submitted. So 100% for us will be 15 since five of us or six of us will be submitting an application. All right. So with that being said, we have two that have submitted their application. No one has an application that has not been started, so everyone is well on their way, to say the least. And so those students, the 12 students that need to get to submission, we want to support you with that. And those that have submitted, if you have any questions, follow-up questions, you can let us know as well via the chat or feel free to take yourself off mute. But that gives us a better understanding of where students are. So everyone during today's session at least has familiarized themselves with the FarmCast portal, which is great. All right. So those of you that have press submit, you want to stay connected, you are local, even those that have not submitted their application yet, but you want to stay involved. We have various capacities, whether it's attending an open house, booking a tour. If you completed your interview online but didn't have an opportunity to come see it face to face, and maybe you want to come with a family member, significant other, a sister or brother, please feel free. We welcome all. We are a very friendly crew, so you can book a tour. Or those that are coming from main campus, your life on the health science campus is going to be different. And so we want you to get, a clear picture as to the difference between being on main campus and being at the health science campus. And tonight's session is a part of our virtual pre-pharmacy club, which is available for all students, regardless of where you're at in the application process. And so you can stay with us to and through until you are officially admitted for the fall 2026 cohort. If you didn't get a chance, if you have like general information that you need to share or you want to be advised on, you can email us at our general admissions email and we check it daily. So you will get a response from us. But you can also call the office if you need to, either set up a time to call, set up a time to even come in as heads, shared. Sometimes virtual meetings may not work for you and you want to do face to face. We are here to support you in whatever capacity that works best for you. So I do want to take a moment to make sure that since we have everyone that has been familiar with or familiarized themselves with the Farmcast portal. We do have screenshots that were put together by Het, and I want to say thank you so very much. They are beautiful and very helpful, but I do want to be cognizant of everyone's time and not necessarily go through them at this time unless you see fit to do so. But I do want to make sure if you have any questions, you can either take yourself off mute at this time and ask away.
I'm going to ask Het a question, which is a
Yes.
question that was asked in the chat, but I want to see if he has any additional tips from a student standpoint that completed the process. So someone asked a question about how do you how do you submit official transcripts into FarmCast? So do you remember the process
Yeah,
that you
so
completed for that?
yeah, so Farmcast needs like there's like two transcripts you need to do for Farmcast to submit an official transcript that like fills out your whole courses. I think that is it's a lot of money. I think it's like $70. But you could also manually do it. And for that, you just look at your transcript from whatever portal of college you go to and then just copy it. So if that's what you're checking, then yeah, so yeah, right here. You just click manual, thanks or handle it, and then fill it out from there. But if you're asking if how do you submit transcripts to your schools,
Hmm.
that's another way. That's a different thing. Um that's for I think for Temple it's through Parchment.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a link somewhere on these slides.
Yeah. So I did put the link in the chat to like specific instructions on FarmCast and had exactly what you mentioned. So
Thank you.
depending, certain schools use a transcript service called Parchment, and other schools use a transcript service called National Student Clearinghouse. And so you can look up on those websites which one your school utilizes. And then through that portal, you can request for that an official transcript of yours be sent directly to FarmCast. So you will need to do that in order for your application to be complete for any school of pharmacy that you're applying to, in addition, and including Temple.
Thank you so very much, Het, for
Yep.
sharing from the student perspective as well. And
Mhm.
then I also will share this screen just so you can see um, just kind of like the journey through if you have not gotten to this point yet. Um, so we spoke about, saving money because yes. So thank you Het, for pointing that out. And then there's ways, so you'll see it's very self-explanatory, I feel like, and easy. You just got to make sure you read what exactly you're clicking on and making sure that it is aligned with the action that you want to move forward with. Okay. Um, and so this kind of gives you the layout of how it will proceed. So I feel like everyone at this point should essentially be up to the transcript phase or approaching the transcript phase at this point.
Mhm. I would say one question that I feel like we get commonly. Would you mind pulling that slide up again,
Yeah,
Layara?
no problem. Absolutely.
So one thing that could be a little confusing, and Het, you can speak if you agree or not, but in FarmCast, you need to request an official transcript from your school be submitted to FarmCast, but you also need to, like you yourself will also need to list all the classes that you took um, from your school as well. So I think some applicants get confused that they think because they put all their courses in their grades that they did not need to submit an official transcript, but FarmCast needs that official transcript sent from your school as well, basically to I guess corroborate that the classes that you submitted that you completed and the grades that you put in were accurate.
Yeah.
So just not to let that step confuse you.
Thank you for that clarity. Since we do have these up, and so what Dr. Rose was sharing, this kind of gives you, this is the essentially unofficial because you're manually putting it in. And these are great examples of, the TR is transfer. If you have other courses that you may be transferred into your current school, so you want to put that information in, or if it's in progress for students that are still working on their application and you're currently enrolled, then those courses, maybe you're currently enrolled in organic chemistry 1 or 2, that would be one of your in progress courses. So just want to make sure you're putting in your information as accurately as possible, but that transcript will definitely confirm and rectify any missteps that you may have put in manually. And then we also have here, it will ask you what classes, and then it kind of gives you a breakdown. You can review and finalize your transcript before moving forward. For any of our international students, we do not require PCAT or any of those things. We will, and Joan, if you can just confirm if there's any courses that we need, if they're being reviewed by Wes or anything like that, how does that work with FarmCast?
Okay, so Farmcast does not evaluate, review WEST, which is the international organization that we require you submit your foreign transcripts to. We will, in terms, evaluate the WES transcript. We do evaluate it course by course, credit by credit, and as well as we look at the actual year that the course was taken. So anything over 10 years, we usually do not accept, but there are extenuating circumstances that the executive admissions committee, they will look at it. For example, if an applicant may have a master's, and PhD, but the courses were taken, let's say, 10 years and 2 semesters over, then that committee makes a decision as to whether or not we're going to accept it.
Thank you, Joan.
And Dr. Rose, you can, clarify as well that I'm correct on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're an international, we didn't ask if any participants were international students, but if you're an international student, as Joan said, and you completed courses outside the US, you'll need to submit a World Education Service evaluation. If you completed your courses within the US, you do not have to do that. And also, you don't have to go back to the slide, but for international students, if you did complete your coursework outside the US, we do require one of those three English language proficiency exam results. And on our website does give some information about the thresholds that we accept for that.
Thank you. In terms of evaluations, they will be requested directly via Farmcast. I'll briefly go through this since we didn't see any questions in regards to this at the chat, but I do, these slides are just so amazing. I want to make sure that I share them, but I also want to make sure that we're touching on every component. So if there is anyone that wasn't able to make it live, they can actually see some of these slides moving forward on their own time when we post this session. So in terms of, submitting your request, it will be done via Farmcast. So having the accurate information of those that you would like to submit your letter of recommendations, having that information. And then I love this, make sure to check yes to ensure schools know your letter is honest feedback, meaning that you are a waiver of the evaluation and that you waive your right to access. And Het, do you want to share why you think that's important?
Yeah, sure. I think it's more so like it's kind of confusing, like waive your right. People might have like no or something, but in this case it helps you out because you're not supposed to see your teacher's letters anyways. So clicking yes doesn't really do anything. And if you ask your teachers that know you better, then it's good for you, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, meaning if you have to ask someone and you're concerned about what they're going to write about you, maybe you shouldn't be asking them. And so you will need two letters of recommendations. And so if you do have experience in the field, maybe you want to have your supervisor that may be a pharmacist share about, your abilities, or you just have a job. But we, definitely encourage faculty and those that are in the field that can speak to your academic skill set as well as your technical skill sets outside of the classroom, if possible. Your experiences. So this again is pretty self-explanatory, but you want to go ahead and share. No one is going to brag about you but you. And so you want to share as much information that is relevant to your prospective school as to why you would be a good candidate, not just academically, but maybe socially and as a future leader in our program. All right, so I'll go ahead um, and stop sharing and make sure that we are getting, thank you everyone for putting in their questions and all of that. If you do have any questions that you weren't able to put in the chat, but you want to take yourself off mute, you can do so now. And I do want to just again be mindful of time. It is 7:51. So if we can let you go early, you have 9 minutes back. But we also are here to support you. So if you have any additional questions or you want to stay on and have a chat, we're here to help you with that. And go ahead.
I was curious about some of the elective courses. I know for the humanity elective courses, I know they list fine arts and languages as some of the option. For fine arts, is there like a specific option that you're looking for, or like music, dance, like are these all accepted? Because I know it's a pretty broad term. And then also for the languages option, is it solely focusing on courses on learning a new language, or can it be about foundational and like linguistics and the study of languages?
John?
Yeah, I can answer that. So for the fine arts, the music courses, make sure that it is 3 credits because I know that a lot of them are 1 credit, 2 credit, but make sure that it is a 3 credit course. And then for the humanities, the linguistics, you're right, that is broad, but we can take something, anything from literature to humanities to Western civilization. So, and it goes on and on and on. So,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Any specific questions? All right. Well, we'll hang back for a little bit, at least until the 8 o'clock hour. We do appreciate you joining us this evening. I love when students take advantage of the resources that are available to you, whether you're a prospective student or already admitted and you want to stay connected. I will go ahead and put emails in the chat if you didn't receive them for whatever reason. To my team, I'll add your emails in the chat for you, so you're good to go. But if you don't have any questions or you already have our contact information, you are free to go. We appreciate you again for joining us tonight.
And thank you, Het, for sharing your experiences with us
Yes.
and creating some of those slides that were very useful.
Yep,
Thank you, Het. You were amazing.
of course.
That's a future student ambassador. He doesn't even know.
Yes. I told you that, right? Yet?
You've kind of been signed up already, so just be prepared.
Okay, all right.
Your interview is over now. You passed.
Long interview.
But it had to have been the easiest interview, if I'm saying, you know?
Right, yeah.
All right, everybody is good.
Yeah.
And I know Thomas put his email in the chat already. So we are good to go.
Could you make sure that I'm host? Because I'm gonna stay on and talk
Yes,
to someone who had like additional questions. I was gonna walk them through something.
absolutely.
Thanks.
No problem. And Het, see, this is why you're already hired as a student ambassador for
Sign him
peer
up.
advice. He's offering peer advice and put his email in the chat for you all.
Sign him up.
And he's not even getting paid. Not yet, at least. Look at
No,
that.
yeah.
All right. So we'll stay on, we'll hang back. But if you're ready to go and all your questions have been answered, have a great night. Please sign up for our upcoming open house on February 28th, which is a Saturday. It is in person, being held at the School of Pharmacy on the Health Science campus right next door to Temple University Hospital. So if you haven't had a chance to check us out live, that would be a great day to join us. You'll get to meet us as well as some amazing faculty and some of our student ambassadors. Although you just met Het today, who's a student ambassador, honorary member. All right, everyone, you have a
Thank
great
you.
night.